What's up, everybody? Josh Armijo here. I hope everybody's doing good and well and stuff. I got an album review to do for you, and I'm going to show it to you right now. This is the new album from the band Down from the Wound, entitled Violence and the Macabre. This is released on Comatose Music. Now, if you're not too familiar with this band, they are based out of the Philippines, and the best way to describe the sound of this band would be a very natural, brutal style of death metal. Yeah, in 2007 they came out with an album entitled Agony Through Rituals of Self-Purification. And listening to the songs on that particular album showcased the kind of work ethic and approach that this band took, delivering some really brutal songs, matched with some great songwriting, lyric writing, great vocals, just an incredible delivery. Now it's been a good 7 years since that last album came out. Sure, they put out a couple of splits, but I'd say it's been a pretty lengthy gap in time between the debut album and this new album that we're going to talk about here. It's 11 tracks, and it clocks in at around 48 minutes in length. And after giving this album multiple repeated listens, I would have to say this is another example of a brutal death metal release that's a lot more intelligent than meets the eye. Excuse me. I mean, you're going to get some really gory artwork, guttural vocals, sick riffs, but there's a lot of intelligence going on here. And that's where I'll get started with is the guitar work. It's very guitar orientated throughout this entire album. Just the way the riffs are being handled, the structuring, the delivery, it's all done in a very natural and smooth manner. Tracks like Ill-Fated Annihilation and Schematic Fraud, to give you a couple of examples, is just how some of the guitar riff work just really sounds, and the way everything is being played out, it's just smooth. There's even some instances of I want to say, some slam-orientated kind of moments. Now, when I say slam, I think of stuff like the early New York death metal kind of stuff, like Internal Bleeding or Dehumanized. I definitely pick up a lot of vibes and instances of those particular bands when it comes to the heavier, groovier, slower moments of this album. And I think the way that they execute it here is very good. It doesn't feel distracting. I don't think it takes away too much from what's being done with the songwriting here, and I think it's really awesome the way the guitar work is being handled here. Moving on to the drums, I think the drums sound incredible here. Very natural sounding. The snare tone, the kick, the fills, the blasts, just a lot of great patterns going on here with the drums. Everything, like I said, everything about the drum performance feels very natural, especially that snare tone. I think it's infectious. I love the way the snare tone is on this album. And just the way everything moves along and flows along, it definitely makes you want to listen more and listen closely, because there's some really smart drum work going on here with this album. And moving on to the vocals, I think the vocals are awesome, very top-notch, very guttural, very undecipherable, very ugly sounding, but yet I think that's this vocalist's approach. It's an almost primal kind of vocal approach, and with the songs that are on this album, I think he definitely gets the job done when it comes to delivering his words and for the lyrical content. That's another thing to point out about this album is this band's lyrical content. Very smart, very intelligent in a way. I mean, it really doesn't... This album doesn't really delve too much into blood or gore or anything like that. There's a lot more intelligent stuff going on here with this album. Almost a little bit of a social commentary, if you want to use that kind of expression. I mean, the opening track, Ill-Fated Annihilation, to tracks like Convulsive Human Atrocities, the title track, the Aftermath. I mean, just some really great, intelligent lyrical content going on here. I think it's amazing. And not to mention, this album cover is definitely one of the things that drew me in the most about this album. I mean, just the mad painter using a limb, and you see blood on the canvas there, and you see a spine and a head in a glass jar. I think that's incredible. It's a really, really awesome album cover. But overall, I think this album is definitely the total package. If you are into old school brutal death metal, if you're into New York style brutal death metal, Down from the Wound are definitely a band to be checking out. I think this is an amazing release. There is a lot of replayability to it. Even though it is a lengthy album, there is a lot of stuff to come back to about this album. I had a great time listening to it, and if this is your kind of thing, you'll definitely enjoy it. So, if I had to pick any favorite tracks, I would definitely have to say Ill-Fated Annihilation, Hypocritical Repentance, Schematic Fraud, Beyond the Depths of Epidemic Abortion, and Drown in Unjustified Extinction. So I'm going to leave you some links in the description box as to how you can get a hold of this album. I'm going to leave you a link to a song that I believe is currently streaming through the Comatose Music YouTube channel, and also to the Comatose web store where you can buy a physical copy of this album. There are also t-shirts and combo deals, so capitalize however you can on this album. So I'm going to show you the album again. This is Down from the Wound with Violence in the Macabre. This is released on Comatose Music. Definitely support this band, and I'm going to give this a very solid 8.5 out of 10. Really, really amazing album, and a lot more intelligent than what is being presented here. So support Down from the Wound. I'm going to conclude this review. Thanks all for watching. Thanks for checking out my channel, and until the next time, RBO out.